Donna, you had mentioned the use of targeting intenders, which is terrific, and it sounds like a lot of this data is being used in the planning process.
Right.
What about the posting process, the stewardship? Do we still have to go back to the proxies of age and gender? How are you handling that transition?
Yeah, I mean, again, we're all in the infancy stage, and I think clients, agencies, marketers are all talking it, but I don't know if they all really absolutely know what it means at the end game. So what's going to happen is, and we're kind of doing this now, is we're going to have to do side-by-sides because there's no historical on the new metric. But marketers and agencies are unfortunately still stuck in what they have purchased on what our traditional CPM guarantee. Over time, that traditional CPM guarantee on that target is going to be obsolete. But we don't have the new metric yet. So we're going to have to create the new metric while looking at the old metric and comparing and trying to get them both to be at the same point so then we can get rid of the old and get onto the new. But nobody really knows what the new is yet. You know, we're talking about doing campaigns across all 7 of our networks, maybe with 1 CPM. Right now, clients that purchase us have a TBS CPM, a TNT CPM, a CNN, Adult Swim, Cartoon Network. If they want that one audience, it doesn't matter what network it's on, if that audience is on and in any program on any day part. So what's the conversations are about now are no day part specific, just focused on audience, and having that 1 CPM, just like they do in digital. They don't buy linear that way. They don't buy television that way, but they do buy digital with 1 CPM and 1 metric. We have to get that converted from the television aspect. So we have to do a side-by-side, and then eventually, hopefully, the posting then will be on what the new metric is. We're not there yet. It's going to be a few years.
What are you doing in cross-platform?
A lot, because again, it's going to come down to audiences. There's a couple of things going on in the company, also from an environment standpoint. So we just hired Kevin Riley, who is now heading up TBS and TNT. Prior to that, he was at Fox. Before that, he was at NBC. He actually has an interesting role on top of him running TBS and TNT, as he is also running our creative council. So he now brings all the heads of all the networks together, and they talk about a lot of the scripts that they're all seeing. If something doesn't work on TBS, maybe it'll work on True TV. But they're also talking about ideation, that if we bring clients to the party that want to do some marketing and some innovation, anything that we can look at that might have a thread that goes across all the different networks. What you're going to start seeing is environments that might resonate on multiple networks. We're doing a lot with March Madness and TBS. We're doing a lot with Bleacher Report in sports, but it's also on CNN. So we're bringing a lot of the connections creatively together, which then will lend us to bring clients and marketers and their messaging across all our networks, but all screens, not just television. You know, anybody right now that buys CNN on all screens. So we don't just go and say, hey, do you want CNN on television? It doesn't make sense anymore. That brand is resonating across, and the audiences are very different. Our digital platform, CNN.com, is very young. Our linear audience on CNN is much more mature. So now a client can get all those audiences for that brand on all the screens in one fell swoop. And so the messaging needs to be very different. The other thing about cross-platform that's very interesting is clients' messaging needs to be created differently on a digital platform than it is on a linear platform, also because the audiences are different. They have a little bit more work to do on that end.
It seems to me the early days of television, you had a program, you sold the program. Now it's more of a curated buy for an advertiser, taking on many different platforms. Can you talk a little bit about how Turner's doing this?
Yeah. We're in the process of actually building out our branded content capability. And that's kind of been happening in our business. You're seeing it more and more. The reason that that's becoming so important is really because of the social conversations now that are going on in our industry. So just by putting a 30-second spot or a 15-second spot on television just isn't resonating anymore. It still works, and it has a place in clients' portfolio, but they're now looking about being part of the conversation, to taking their messaging and really having it scaled across, multiple weeks, multiple months, not just having it hit a one time only. So what we are now doing is we're working very closely with the networks and utilizing a lot of our actors and actresses, a lot of our talent that are now going to be tied and working very closely with our clients on some of the campaigns that they would like to do. It takes a lot of time. This is not a, hey, let's, get a campaign going. There's months and months and months of conversations that have to happen. So what's happening in this space now, and even with our clients, is we're becoming partners. And that has changed a lot. You had asked me the question about, 3 years ago, whatever. That is a huge difference. We are now we're not just selling. We're not just talking to clients and saying, here, will you want this 30-second unit on TBS and Big Bang. Now it's about being partners, left hand, right hand, working together symbiotically to help them create client results. That is also what has changed. We are now much more focused and working with them to help create results for them and to show an ROI versus us not understanding what the outcome is going to be. Branded content has helped that. And I think it's going to be more and more. We're working much more closely with the brand managers, closer with the clients. Not that the agencies are not part of the conversation, but clients now are becoming much more tied to our conversations to help them build their business results more than ever.